Hello everyone. So welcome back to my YouTube channel, guys. So in this video series or in this playlist, so I'm planning to make some videos, recording sessions on MongoDB performance testing. So this is Pawan, and I'm having 16 plus years of experience as a performance test engineer. And this is my WhatsApp number. So please save my WhatsApp number. And if you have any queries or if you want to enroll for some training, so we have been conducting these online trainings for the past 4 to 5 years. And before jumping into the session, this is my YouTube channel. So you can open YouTube and search for performance testing live training, Pawan MGM IT, with 4,000 plus subscribers. Please do like, subscribe, and refer to your friends and colleagues. Okay. Now, so let's see what is MongoDB first of all. So this is the agenda for this training series of this video series. So this is the agenda. So what is MongoDB and how to get started with MongoDB and what are the advantages and limitations of MongoDB, right? Let me use Spotlight and advantage. What is MongoDB Compass, right? And MongoDB collection. What is a MongoDB collection? Admin commands, general commands with general MongoDB commands. What is replication in MongoDB? And relational database testing, performance testing with JDBC request sampler. And the next concept that I am going to cover is MongoDB performance testing with JMeter with JSR223 sampler. And here we need some MongoDB Java driver and connecting JMeter to MongoDB database and creating and inserting. I'll also show you how to create and insert a document into MongoDB from JMeter and MongoDB performance tuning finally. So this is the agenda of this playlist or this video series, right? Now let's get started. So first of all, let me explain what is MongoDB. I'll go into slideshow mode. So MongoDB is a non-relational database, right? First of all, MongoDB is a non-relational database. We'll discuss soon what is a relational database and what is non-relational database. We'll discuss soon. So for now, remember that MongoDB is a non-relational database and it is an open source database, right? And it is a cross-platform. So when I say cross-platform, it supports all the operating systems, all the operating system platforms like Windows, Linux, Mac OS, etc. MongoDB stores unstructured data, but when we have, hold on. So let me show you something. Just Google search for relational database management system. So here is the list of all the RDBMS software, right? All the relational database softwares, starting with Oracle database, MySQL, Microsoft SQL, PostgreSQL, Microsoft Access, IBM DB2, etc., etc. So there are a lot of, all these are relational database systems, right? And however, MongoDB is a non-relational database, right? And now what is the difference between a relational database and non-relational database? In a layman language, all these relational database systems or software store the data in the form of tables, whereas these non-relational database are used when we want to store some unstructured data, like a PDF documents, Word documents, Excel spreadsheets, etc., etc. Or if you want to store the document in store some data in a document structure. So basically, MongoDB uses JSON-like storage, right? And it supports indexing, it has support for full indexing. And moreover, it is faster and more scalable than other NoSQL databases. Of course, we have a couple of NoSQL databases other than MongoDB. So, however, it is faster and more scalable than other NoSQL databases. Clear, guys? Now let's see how to download and install MongoDB, and let me cover MongoDB Compass as well in this session, in this short session. Let me Google search for MongoDB download, MongoDB. So many a times in most of the applications, we may need to store some PDF documents or spreadsheets, or for example, if there is a trading application, right, like India Infoline, HDFC Securities, or ICICI Direct, or there is a financial planning application, and they want to store our our PAN card documents or our what we call that any transactions or any shareholdings, right? Or any mutual fund holdings, which are in the form of a spreadsheet or which are in the form of a PDF, or if they want to store our PAN card, Aadhaar card details in the form of a PDF document. So that is where this non-relational database come into picture, right? So that is where this non-relational, so these are unstructured data basically. So whenever we want to store some unstructured data, right? Or whenever we want to store the data in a document structure like JSON like storage format. So that is where MongoDB is significant, and MongoDB is one of the significant non-relational databases. Hope it is clear now. Now let's move on to MongoDB installation on my local machine. So just Google search for MongoDB download for Windows and go to mongodb.com website. And this is the community server download, MongoDB community server download. That means it is a trial version. So basically, so you might have heard this term very frequently, right? Community edition means nothing but a trial version, right? Now download that. So you should have an option to download. Yeah. So here it is. You can click on this download link. Platform I have selected Windows. This is Windows platform. And MS package is MSI, Microsoft installer. It should be representing Microsoft installer. This is the latest version that they are providing. This is the latest trial version of MongoDB database that we are downloading. Okay. Let me pause recording. Once the download is completed, I will resume the recording. So meanwhile, please subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe and turn on all notifications. So to receive the coming up sessions on MongoDB performance testing. Also, I am planning to make a video on Apache Kafka performance testing. Okay, so don't miss these free demo sessions, absolutely free demo sessions. So in order to receive them, subscribe and turn on all notifications. That is important, right? One more time. So let me show my YouTube channel. So Google's, once you are on YouTube, search for performance testing live training, Pavan MGM IT, right? Search for this and you can subscribe and turn on all notifications. And please remember, there are a couple of other channels with similar name. So mine is the channel with 4,000 plus subscribers, as you can see over here, and this logo. Clear, guys? And by the way, one more thing, before the download gets completed, so we started new batch for performance testing with Loaderner training. This is June 2023 batch. So enrollments are still in progress. This is the batch tracker for that batch, for that particular batch, as you can see over here. So this was started on 29th May, and we are still running demo sessions. So contact on my WhatsApp number if you want to enroll into this training, or if any of your friends are near and dear want to enroll for performance testing training, which is a low code or no code high package career. Remember, performance testing doesn't require coding skills, programming skills. Only 5 to 10% of scripting will involve coding. Only 5 to 10%. And again, not all projects require coding. Very few projects require coding, and that too 5 to 10% only will be coding. So if you want to refer anyone who is looking for to make a software testing career without programming, without much programming, at the same time, performance testing offers packages more or equal to developers. Please remember that. Note this down, right? Note down this one. So it's very important that ultimately money is important, right? So performance testing and also it, of course, job satisfaction is also important. So it gives immense satisfaction because we don't need to have programming skills, much of programming skills, but still we get packages equal to the developers, equal or more than developers in some companies, organizations. Okay, so MongoDB installation is done. Downloading is done. So now let me proceed with the installation. So please save my WhatsApp number. Please save my WhatsApp number so that and ping me on my WhatsApp number so that you will receive updates on the new batches and free demo sessions like this. All right. So now let me go to the downloads folder and install MongoDB database on my local machine. Okay. Now once you download this Windows installer, it's a simple, straightforward thing. So installation is a straightforward thing. Let it come up. Let the installation window come up. And we will install MongoDB Compass also. I'll explain what is MongoDB Compass. Right. Welcome to MongoDB 6.0.6. 6.0.6. Please pronounce it as dot. Please don't pronounce it as point. It should be pronounced as dot. 6.0.6. 0 is pronounced as O in software. So 2008 R2 plus SSL setup wizard. So I'm just reading out the version. So it's 6.x version, MongoDB 6.x version, and this is the MongoDB logo. Please remember this logo. So you may come across, anytime in your career. Accept the license agreement and click next. And go for complete installation so that all the program features will be installed. So by default, complete will be selected. Okay. Now, so Mongo shell must be installed separately for Windows installation. So right now, observe here, the next button is grayed out or disabled, right? So once you click on download, I think it will be enabled. So this is MongoDB shell. We will download it meanwhile. By the time it gets downloaded, let's go to the installer file. All right. So all complete features will be installed, requires the most disk space recommended for most users. Hold on, guys. So click on this complete. So you will get this window. Okay. And proceed with this option, default option, run service as a network service user. All right. And remember the service name is MongoDB. I'll show you that once the installation is done, you can see a new service in the Windows services. I'll show you that very soon. And this is the data directory and log directory. Of course, it will be installed in C program files. So it should be a 64-bit operating system, as you can see here, as it is 64-bit operating system. So let me use Spotlight. It's a 64-bit operating system, as you can see. That's why it will get installed in C program files folder. So if you remember or if you observe, so if you go to your C drive, there you see two things, right? Program files and program files x86, isn't it? So all the 32-bit software will be installed over here. And all the 64-bit software will be installed into this folder, program files. All the 32-bit software will be installed into this folder, right? Now, so click on this, click next. And observe here, the by default install MongoDB Compass will be selected by default. So click next so that it will install MongoDB Compass also. And it will automatically download and install that MongoDB Compass as well. Now the installation started. And you can see that a folder gets created in C program files. You'll get a notification asking if you want to, allow this program to make some changes. Click yes, and you'll see that, and then it proceeds. So we'll come back to this folder. So let the installation be completed. So we are installing MongoDB database on our local machine so that we can play around with that MongoDB database. And we are also installing MongoDB Compass tool. So MongoDB, meanwhile, so what is MongoDB Compass tool? Right. So MongoDB Compass is a GUI for running any queries, aggregating and analyzing your MongoDB database in a visual environment. So it's something like Toad or dbeaver or DB visualizer tools or SQL workbench. So if you are having some prior experience on SQL, Microsoft SQL or MySQL, you have something called SQL Management Studio or my SQL workbench, right? So this is something like this, this is a GUI for working with MongoDB database. Clear, guys? So meanwhile, let me show you some database tools that we cover in the training. So we cover dbeaver and DB visualizer, right? And Toad as well in our training. These are the different database tools that we cover in our performance testing training, along with Loadrunner and JMeter. Clear, guys? So please, watch the demo sessions. I have like 5 to 6 demo sessions for each batch. So we'll provide public access, for almost 5 to 6 demo sessions. Hold on. So meanwhile, while the installation is going on, so let me show you some playlist URLs. Okay. So we create, one playlist URL for each batch, as you can see here. Hold on. Please hold on, guys. So we create one playlist URL for each batch, and we will be sharing the recording sessions for every student, every participant. And one more thing. So we do have a WhatsApp group for every batch as well, where like we will use that WhatsApp group for doubt clarification, sharing interview questions, right? And communication, regular communication on the batch session timings, etc. And if you want to share any, someone want to ask any queries, post there, if they are blocked somewhere, right? So we do follow this, from the beginning of the, from almost like 4 to 5 years, we have been following this approach. So we do have a WhatsApp group for every batch, and this is June 2023 batch, as you can see over here. So seats are getting full. So we are going to close admissions into this batch very soon, in probably in the next 1 or 2 days. Yeah, by the way, one more thing. So there's someone posted in a LinkedIn, someone posted a poll in the LinkedIn asking, can QA earn more than developers, right? And if you can see, most of the majority of the LinkedIn members, voted as yes, as you can see over here. And it's very much true that, software test engineers are drawing equal or more salary than developers. Clear ways. And this is not something that I am saying. So all the LinkedIn members, all the working professionals, this information are, this poll is these results are this is the result of the poll conducted for different, conducted and, and responses collected from working professionals, right? All right. So now coming back to this, to MongoDB installation is still going on. So just, stay back for a moment. Right now it is installing MongoDB Compass tool. Clear this. As you can see here, right now MongoDB installation, MongoDB database installation is done. And right now it is installing MongoDB Compass. And what is MongoDB Compass? It is a GUI tool like Toad or dbeaver or DB Visualizer or SQL Workbench, right? SQL Workbench, where, from where we can run the queries. So this is a tool for running any SQL queries, for any MongoDB queries here in this case, right? And it is a tool like Toad or dbeaver and DB Visualizer. By the way, these are universal database tools. That means these tools can be used with any database. For example, dbeaver is a universal database tool. DB Visualizer is a universal database tool. Clear guys? So when I say universal database tools, these database tools are so called because they can be used with any database like MySQL or Microsoft SQL or Oracle database. You can see here, free universal database manager. Of course, this is completely irrelevant, to this MongoDB. We are going to use MongoDB Compass tool. However, I'd like to, mention that these are the different database tools that we cover in the training. And we also cover SQL basics in the performance testing fundamentals. In the first 1 month, we cover SQL basic queries which are required for a performance test engineer. As you can see here, right? And we cover CRUD operations. So how does each operation, database operation, map with the HTTP request method and RESTful web services, etc. So here is my WhatsApp number. If you haven't saved it, please save it. And here, this is my YouTube channel. Performance testing live training, Pavan MGM IT training. So just Google search for or search in YouTube for performance testing real-time training if you want to reach out to my channel. Okay. So this is a universal database. I will not go to this now. So we'll make a separate session on this dbeaver tool, how to use that dbeaver tool and how to configure a connection with different databases, etc. Now let's proceed with MongoDB Compass tool. Now you can see that, like once the installation of MongoDB is done, you can see one folder got created. Still MongoDB Compass installation is going on. I hope there is no confusion. Right now MongoDB Compass tool installation is going on. However, MongoDB database installation is already done, and you can see a folder over here for MongoDB server. Clear guys? And this is the version, server version 6.0 is the version. And this is the corresponding installation folder for MongoDB, right? So let's wait for MongoDB Compass installation also to be completed.
If you like my dash channel, please like, subscribe and share, turn on all notifications, and share it your near and dear. Thank you.
Yeah. So installation is still going on, guys, and you are seeing a window saying MongoDB Compass is being installed. It will launch once it is done. Right now, it's almost completed. Now, yes, now we are done with the installation. MongoDB and MongoDB database and MongoDB Compass installation both are done. Clear, guys? So please note that we are done with both MongoDB database and MongoDB Compass installation, and you can see that MongoDB Compass is launched. Now click on finish. Once the installation is done and you see this window, click on finish button, and here you go. So this is MongoDB Compass tool, right? So you can click on start to start working on MongoDB database now. Okay, now coming back to this folder. So now let me go to that MongoDB installation folder. You remember, like it gets installed in, as it is a 64-bit software, it gets installed in program files folder in your C drive. So first let me show you that folder. Here it is, right? Now you can see this is MongoDB database server. Okay, and if you remember, like I told you, that it will be installed as a service, right? So first let us start that MongoDB database. To start the MongoDB database, you can either go to services. You can go to services either from here, services app, right? Or else you can open task manager, and in task manager you have services as one of the tab, right? And here you go. So if you go to services tab and select any service and type letter M, right? And you see over here, right? So you can see that the MongoDB database is running by default. Clear, guys? And the same thing, you can control the same thing in your services app also. So select something, select any service over here and click letter M, and it will show you all the services that start with letter M. So where is our MongoDB, guys? Here it is, right? You can see that by default the status is running currently. If you want to stop the service, if you are not using that MongoDB database, simply stop this service. Stop the database by clicking on this stop. And if you want to start the service again, you can start it either from here, right? See here, and you can see here. And observe here, by default, the startup type is automatic. What does it mean by automatic is, this MongoDB database will be started by as soon as you start your machine. If you keep it as automatic, but I don't want to start my MongoDB database always. So go to properties and make it, make the startup type as manual. Otherwise, every time you start your machine, it will be running in the background. MongoDB database will be running in the background, which will consume obviously CPU cycles and memory cycles. Clear, guys? So I don't want that to happen. So I change the startup type to manual, so that whenever I want to use the database, then only I am going to start this service, either by clicking here, or you can also open task manager, and you can see here right now the status is stopped. So you can start it from here as well. Now you can see that it is starting, and you'll see after a couple of seconds, like you'll see that the status will be running. The status will change to running, right? Yeah, here you go. Now the MongoDB database is started. And this is how you start and stop the database. Now coming back to MongoDB Compass. So this is the UI of MongoDB Compass. And if you want to connect and observe here, this is the URL, default URL of MongoDB. Localhost refers to my local machine. And this is the port number on which MongoDB runs by default. 27,017, 27017 is the 27017. 27,017 is the port number, default port number of MongoDB. Now click on connect. Okay, if you make sure that it is running, and click on connect, right? Now we are connected to MongoDB database, and by default there are three databases, three different schemas. There are three different databases in this MongoDB called admin, config, and local. These are the default databases, and if you want to add some database, if you want to create some database, you can click on this plus button and you can create a database. So I'll stop it here for this session. So in the next session, I'm going to show you how to create a database. Hold on, let me go to the PPT. And these are the agenda concepts, right? So we are done with this, getting started with MongoDB database. In the next session, I'm going to explain what are the advantages and limitations of MongoDB database and how to use MongoDB Compass, what is a MongoDB collection, and some admin commands and general commands, what is a replication in MongoDB, how to do relational database performance testing with JDBC request sampler, and how to do MongoDB performance testing with JMeter with JSR 223 sampler, and all the rest of the concepts in in couple of other recording sessions. All right, so stay tuned to my YouTube channel. So if you want to receive updates on these free demo sessions, I started one free demo sessions on Splunk as well. So because of the time constraints, I could not I could not work on it. But soon, I promise that recently I started this free demo sessions on Splunk, right? So I'll be posting some free demo sessions or free knowledge sharing sessions on Splunk, tools like Splunk, MongoDB, and JDBC performance testing with JMeter, etc., etc. So stay tuned to my YouTube channel, subscribe and turn on all notifications, and please share to your near and dear. Thanks for watching and have a nice day. So because of the time constraints, I'm making this video on a Sunday evening because I'm working and I'm completely occupied with my deliverables. All right. So please, encourage us by clicking a like button to the videos to get more and more such useful videos, for free. All right, guys. Thanks for watching and have a nice day. So this is Sunday morning. Sunday evening. I'm signing off and see you in my next session. By the way, if anyone is having any training requirement related to performance testing, so we are providing performance testing live training on LoadRunner, JMeter, BlazeMeter, Splunk, Dynatrace, and very soon I am going to start AWS training. So I am working on the content now. So CI/CD tools like Jenkins, Kubernetes, Docker, Kubernetes required for performance test engineers, Java basics required for performance test engineers, Apache Kafka, Unix and Linux commands, Dynatrace, right? Dynatrace APM tool, etc., etc. So we are lining up a lot of training sessions and free demo sessions as well as live training sessions. This is on Jenkins and JMeter in the world of CI/CD, continuous integration, continuous development, and continuous deployment. CI/CD stands for continuous integration and continuous development and deployment. And Java basics required for performance test engineers, Git and GitHub. So we have a lot of things lined up, mobile performance testing and JVisual VM, etc. So, and we have also some, I have already published some recorded sessions on communication tips and do's and don'ts with internet, do's and don'ts with international IT clients, right? So please do watch that demo session as well. Search for, I'll share it in the description section of this video, and how to prepare a proper CV, particularly useful for freshers. So let me bring up that as well, that slide deck as well. I have prepared one, like a recorded session on resume preparation guidelines. I have a separate, YouTube video on this resume preparation guidelines and career guidance. Please do watch and don't miss important coming up sessions from my YouTube channel. Subscribe and turn on all notifications. And thanks for watching once again and have a nice day.